All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new YouTube video. And this one, I'm going to be sharing the lessons that I have learned from being scammed over $72,000 by a friend, um, ex-student, and a service provider. And just a disclaimer, this is not a video where I'm going to be mentioning their names. This is not a video where I am going to be talking badly about them. The purpose of this video is to basically just share the story of how this happened, and I take full responsibility over all the situations and really the lessons I've learned from wanting to do good, but it can also bite you back in the ass if you do not take any precautions, right? So long story short, I basically had made I made I gave out three loans, and it was one business investment that I was never able to retrieve. I'm gonna cover why, kind of what happened. But the first thing that happened was the first time I ever gave someone a loan was July 2021. 26th July, I just backtracked the transfer, and it was on that specific date. And basically, what happened is, I had a student of mine who I helped grow an agency back in 2019 and 2020. And he basically had a videographing agency where he would come into businesses and make an ad for them with his video equipment, and then from there they could use it as a Facebook or Instagram ad to advertise their services or create brand awareness. And he did great. He hit 10 15k months, and in 2020 later on, I believe in Q2, he started to launch his coaching business, and he did really well for himself. Right, again, I'm not going to mention his name. And we've even had dinner together. We celebrated New Year's Eve together. And long story short, he launched mid 2020 his consulting business, and he was seeing great success because I showed his name a lot on my feed because his agency was killing it. And from there, people that followed me started to follow him as well. And later on, he started consulting, and it got to 10k in his first month. I believe he did 15 to 20k in his second month, and then the third month he had a record at 25 to 30k month. And all of a sudden, as he was seeing that success, after month three, he kind of vanished off the place of the earth. He was traveling, he was partying. And obviously, I don't know everything that's happened in his personal life, but I do know he wasn't present in his businesses. And that happened not just for a day, not just for a week, not just for a month. It's happened for 2 to 3 months. And so as he was getting students in within the first 90 days, basically what happened is people started to reach out to me and said, "Hey, Baz, your student that actually started to work with because of his success, he's not responding to any of my messages, nor the other students that are in his program." And I messaged him, and I didn't hear from him. All right, so it was a little bit weird. And then I started to get more messages, and his Facebook wall was starting to get full. And basically, he came back after 2 or 3 months, and it was a shit show because people were putting threats that they were going to dispute a payment, put bad reviews online, on his Facebook wall, and also in his messages everyone was asking for a refund. And he basically got in a situation where he had 20-30 disputes, and all the success he had built he destroyed in a 2 to 3 month time frame, right? And this was because of neglect of his businesses. So it's his own fault, obviously. But then what happened was he was refunding everyone, right? Really just doing it on good terms to protect his reputation. It's the right thing to do. And he was in the wrong, right? So he took responsibility, but then he got into debt as he was attempting to refund everyone because he was traveling and, going all out with the money he was making. And then I had a call with him to catch up and really see what happened, because I was also scaling my business at the time. And, he was in debt. He quit his agency. He quit his consulting business. He then took a restaurant job. and he was like still trying to refund everyone and make money from the restaurant to pay them all back. And yeah, it was a really, really bad situation, and I felt horrible for him. Though, again, it's his own fault, right? But he was my friend and also an ex-student, you know? And then from there, I told him like, hey man, you know what? I don't want to see you in a situation you're in. Here's 25K USD. So like you can pay all your refunds, cover your debt, and you have like a basis you're starting from again. And you can just like pay me back in a year or two from now. Right? That's what I told him. And, you know, he was crying on the call out of gratitude, and I love giving. So, you know, I just gave the money to him. We kind of like just touch base every couple months. And then a year later, I checked in with him like, hey, how's everything going? And then, yeah, we catched up, and he said like, you know, he's going to be on track to like pay back the loan that I gave him. And then another year went by, and I said, hey man, hope you're doing well. Would love to like, you know, get this thing that I transferred over back to 2 years ago, like paid up. That's all good with you, no pressure. And then like kept delaying. And then I started to like be a bit more direct. And then all of a sudden, you know, as he was saying like, yep, I'm getting ready. Can we do this and that? And obviously like, you know, I have money. So for me, it's not a big problem, but then it was more about the principle of not keeping his word. So then again, I got direct like, hey man, I feel like you're kind of beating around the bush. Can we like, you know, work something out here? And then he blocked me on Instagram, on Facebook, on all the platforms. And then I wanted to message his girlfriend because we celebrated New Year's Eve together, right? So I know her name. I want to drop her a message. And then also like, she blocked me on everything. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, dude. Just for 25K, that's wild. And you know, the history we have. And so that happened, and then from there, I then wanted to like see what else I could do, and so I messaged his brother, right? I think it's his big brother, and I explained to him the story as objective as I could, and never heard from him. So 25,000 USD gone. That's the full story, right? Anyway, so that happened. And then I have another situation that happened, which this was actually November 21, also 2021. This was actually the year that I hit my first 500K months. And so like money was like anything but an issue for me. And this was an ex-employee, or you should call him contractor, but you know, just call him an employee. And then this was for 15K, 15,000 Australian dollars. Also not gonna mention his name, but yeah, then as the situation kind of happened, and I've explained to you like kind of where it's at, so like it's kind of in a dead end. I've hired a person to like collect the debt to his email and see what we can do there. But yeah, I'm assuming I'm never gonna get back, which is fine, you know, it's whatever. So anyway, second situation where I got scammed, right, is I was hiring a new appointment setter, and I had two appointment setters at the time in my inbox, and one of the setters, let's call him John, right? Let's call him John. John was, on a team huddle, and I also spoke one-on-one with him. And it was his first 2 weeks in my company, and I saw great potential in him because he worked with a pretty big name in the industry, and I saw his skills. And we jumped on a one-on-one call to like see how everything is going, me training him, and he broke down, and I could see he was distracted. So I asked him what's going on, right? And in essence, what happened was, and what was going on is like he had no money to his name, he had a big tax bill. He had a baby on its way, and he just felt scared, right? So he couldn't perform. So pretty much what I told him after like 20, 30 minutes of talking about the situation and, you know, giving him advice, I told him like, hey brother, you know what? Here's 15K so you can pay your tax bill, which is 7 or 8K or something. You have enough money for the next few months, and I want you to like just crush appointment setting, right? And then from there, just like make the money back for the company, and you're gonna be good. And then he was grateful. He was crying on the call because no one's ever done that for him. I was happy because, again, I love giving. Same with the first person. And then, yeah, the next day what happened was, you'll never believe this. The next day what happened was he sent me a message. He said, "Hey, Bass, I'm going to quit this company. I feel used like a fucking tool." That's what he said. And the reason why is because like I'm sharing an inbox with someone else while I have like this skill set. So to me, this is unacceptable and I'm going to be quitting. And I got so pissed off. I got really pissed off. And obviously then I said, "Well, dude, okay, well, I hear you. That's all good. But then you're going to have to pay me back the 15K because look, that was a long-term investment because that's what I saw when I also gave it to you, right? There was no terms, but obviously, yes, you're working together. Now we don't work together, so there's no purpose for this. Please transfer it back." And he said, "Sorry, I can't do that. I don't have the money anymore." And I was like, wow. Okay, well, that's pretty messed up. But again, it's no biggie. It was only like 10K USD if you convert from 15K Australian dollars to USD, like 11K or something. So for me, with the money I had like at the time, and I still have, like, it's not, I don't really care, but it still sucks, right? So that happened, and then I just kind of like left it as it is because I couldn't do anything. It was a wire transfer. I tried to like see my legal options, but I just was too busy at the time. I couldn't like even start a lawsuit or whatever. So I just left it as it is. And then also, like, I think this year I initiated like a debt collector, also, just emailing him. That's pretty much it. Like, there's not much I can do. So yeah, that was pretty unexpected. So I like to re-summarize, like, worked for me, was in a bad situation, I wanted to help him out, gave him 15K Australian so like he could chill out and focus on like appointment setting. And he just said, "Fuck you, I'm out," and then paid his tax bill. He took care of his fam. I believe he's working like a 9 to 5 now, which is, I'm happy for him that he's stable. And he still regrets it. I think I messaged him like a year ago or something. He said he's working on it, but how much do you really believe that based on what happened? So I left it as it is. And those are the two, things that happened then. And I also had 2 more situations, which I'll cover with you. And near the end, like, I think like the things that I've learned from like giving out loans, even if it's your friend, like, have them sign a legal contract, right? So the lesson here is, even if it's a friend, like, have them sign a contract. Because the problem I have is like, I have nothing that protected me. I just did it based on relationship and goodwill. And I'm very much like a relationship and goodwill person, but with these 2 instances happening, I'll still come from like a place of relationship and goodwill, but there's gonna be a contract, right? And that's the biggest lesson that I learned. I don't think I should trust people less or change my character because it's done so much good for me. But yeah, these are like just the unfortunate things that can happen if you trust people too much, right? Or if you have a lot of money and it doesn't seem like a lot of money to you, but it is to them, they can just F off and there's no incentive for them to like stay, right? But yeah, of course, my assumption was like, hey, we got a great relationship. I'm sure you'll stay. You can develop here, and have like a proper career trajectory. But yeah, it seemed that that's not what he wanted in this case. And my friend here, yeah, he no idea what he's doing right now. But anyway, so I have two more instances actually, which happened. I can check right here on my phone. Yeah, so this was Gen 9. So 9 January. This was 2023. Oh yeah, we just came out of like our record month. This was like our 3rd million in a month. And this was for PR services. And this was also 25,000 USD. And also, it's gone. So basically, We just right now you've got Meta verified, right? So you don't like a lot of PR companies just went out of business because that's like the thing that they specialized in, like helping you get a verification. So you've got extra perks on your account, you come across more credible, and a couple of other benefits you get. Anyway, so we made the payment, and it took I think 4 to 6 months to get verified. So we were in that process, and then we never really got verified. And I kind of left it as it is because we were just scaling the companies. And then on top of that, I saw Meta Verified came out. So then I was actually like, wait, we never got verified. I can get this for $15 per month right now. I paid 25K. I got a guarantee that I was gonna get it. So let me just ask for a refund, right? Or see what else we can do. But anyway, there's nothing else he could really do because that was his specialty. And then apparently, as like I was pretty late asking for a refund, he said that he's in debt and he cannot pay me back, and he's very, very sorry. And I said, hey dude, that's totally fine. I get like things can happen, and I'm sorry to hear you're in this situation, but yeah, when can we get this resolved, right? And yeah, I believe what happened was he made a website where you literally see him mow lawns to repay his debt that he has to certain people like myself, because I asked him, I think like over the course of a year, like, hey brother, hope you're well, just wanted to check in on our last convo. And then obviously each message that I sent out, like it came with a little bit more frustration because I felt I wasn't taken seriously, and it's still 25,000 USD that I never really got anything for. And if I did get something for it or a different service, like I wouldn't, be frustrated, because then, the expectation would be reset. But yeah, so he went out of business. Then he made a website where he's mowing lawns to repay his debt. And he has no money right now, so he cannot pay me back. And that's the current situation. So, I feel bad for him. But, for me, I lost this for, I didn't really get anything in return for it. He's a good guy, so I'm not angry. I'm not like going to a lawsuit or crazy things. I'm giving him more time, because again, it's the same thing with the other two situations. Like I'm not pressing for that cash because I'm good, but it's still like a big chunk if you kind of everything up, right? As you'll see in this video, like the title, 72,000 USD. It's quite a bit. So that happens. And then the most recent situation, I'm just gonna be grabbing the date here for you. That was October 6th, 2023. So here, this was October 6th, sorry, 6th. And this was, yeah, like a half year ago. So this was 2023 as well. And this was a loan for a friend. And this was like 7,000 euros. And this is actually someone that I worked very closely with. This was like 2 years ago, and he's such a good guy. And but he got himself in a very unfortunate situation. He basically was doing 150K months, even 200K a month, and he was hitting records. But then what happened is he got messed over by someone close to him, and all of his funds were gone, right? And I observed what happened, right? So I could see how bad the situation was becoming with what he was going through. And, obviously, as a friend and a mentor, I helped him, I listened to him, and then, the situation got so worse that he moved places, but he didn't have any money. So he asked me if I could send him some money, which I said, hey brother, totally fine, here's the money, because there was like this house that was closing in on a certain time window, and he wanted to get in, right? So I told him like, hey, here's the money, it's all good. And we agreed then to start paying me back. It was around, first payment was scheduled for Jan 31st, 2024. Well, right now it's March 19. And yeah, still never got a payment. And I'm not hearing from him. So what are the lessons, right, from like these situations? I don't really think you can see too much here, but the lesson is same thing that I just kind of like said on the last slides, like just sign the contract, right? Sign the contract. And honestly, that's objectively the biggest thing, right? So that's on the business side, like the lesson that I've learned, like get a contract signed, no matter if you love them or you don't, right? But on a personal level, it's a bit hard because I like to, you know, really have relationship and trust take precedence as opposed to like it being, you know, transactional. But this is, you know, I would have never had these situations if I just applied this lesson, right? So it's a good lesson. But yeah, on a personal level, I mean, I have no grudge to any of these folks. I think that with the first situation, at the beginning I had, but not anymore. Really with any person that I put here, like I have no ill feelings towards them. But yeah, it has taught me a valuable lesson, which is, as Mike Tyson says, sign the contract, big boy. So that being said, that's how I got scammed for 72,000 in total. And I've, you know, got a lot more stories I can share that are not just even like loans and investments I've made into like services. There's a lot more that I will be sharing in future YouTube videos. So this is what happened. This is what I learned. And I hope you guys were able to like extract some value from this, and hopefully this was interesting to you. And then I'll be seeing you in the next video.